Christmas is officially behind us. I am drinking my very last cup of Christmas coffee, and that means that we get to look ahead to 2025 and talk about all the books that I'm excited about that are releasing in January. I have 8 books on this list, and obviously there's a lot more books that are being released in January than 8, but these are the ones that caught my eye and that I'm super excited about checking out in January. This list is the list that I am most excited about from any of the other previous month's lists since I started making these videos. Starting with January 2nd, we have A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. On Goodreads, it actually has 2 dates. It says it is expected on the 2nd and on the 7th, so I'm not exactly sure which date is correct. This is a fantasy with dragons, and it's set in 1923. London, 1923. Dragons soar through the skies and protests erupt on the streets. But Vivian Featherswallow isn't worried. She's going to follow the rules, get an internship studying dragon languages, and make sure her little sister never has to risk growing up 3rd class. By midnight, Viv has started a civil war. And the little blurb on the front says, "Every fire starts with a little spark." And we know that I love dragon books, so super excited about this one. Moving on to January 7th, we have Mystery Royale by Caitlin Cavalancia. The part that got me on this book and made me super interested was this little blurb. The Inheritance Games meets Hotel Magnifique in this genre-splicing YA fantastical mystery. One of the genres listed on Goodreads is also science fiction fantasy, so I think this one sounds super exciting. It's YA, so it's probably a pretty quick read. Next up on January 7th is The Last Bookshop on Earth by Lily Braun Arnold. This is another YA, and I don't typically lean towards YA, but there are just so many that seem to be coming out lately that are really grabbing my attention. This searing YA debut follows 2 teen girls as they fall in love and fight for survival in an abandoned bookstore just weeks before another cataclysmic storm threatens to bring about the end of the world. Perfect for fans of Station 11 and The Last of Us. There is nothing that I like more than a YA dystopian. And while I've never seen or read Station 11, The Last of Us is a TV show that scared the living daylights out of me. So I'm pretty interested on seeing how this book reflects The Last of Us. Also on January 7th is Afterlife by Gail Foreman, another YA. One spring afternoon after school, Amber arrives home on her bike. It is just another perfectly normal day. But when Amber's mom sees her, she screams. Because Amber died 7 years ago, hit by a car, while on the very same bicycle she is inexplicably riding now. This sounds like such a unique concept, and that is what is drawing me to put it on this list. The last one for January 7th is Royal Heirs Academy by Lindsay Duga. And what drew me to this one was this blurb. American Royals, which I read the whole series and absolutely loved, meets elite in this contemporary YA set in a glamorous boarding school where 4 teens compete to inherit a European kingdom. When there's teens competing for something, things are going to get catty, and I love reading about stuff like that. Filled with competition, secret alliances, enemies to lover romance, and cunning revenge, Royal Heirs Academy is a breathless, entertaining read set in modern day. This gossip-filled school for the global elite is inspired by the UWC of the Atlantic, which Vanity Fair has described as hippie Hogwarts. That checks all the boxes. The only one I have for January 14th is Biology Lessons by Melissa Cantor. And normally this type of trope would not be interesting to me because it involves a pregnancy. But just listen, because I think that this might grab your attention as well. Biology Lessons is a heartfelt and profound contemporary young adult novel about the strength and importance of female friendship in a time when bodily autonomy is outlawed. The synopsis is pretty long, but from what I can gather, there is a teenage girl who has her whole life mapped out for her. She unexpectedly becomes pregnant in a state where abortion is outlawed. Her and her friend have to go on this journey to try to find a state that will allow her to get the help that she needs. I don't want to make this video political, but this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I've never read a book like this before, so that's why it's going on my list. Moving on to January 21st, we have The Wild Trials by Mackenzie Reed. From the acclaimed author of The Rosewood Hunt comes a thrilling new mystery about a high-stakes competition packed with shocking twists, second chances, and deadly deceit, where allies and enemies are the people that you least expect. This is described as a dark academia thriller with a romantic twist. And of course, last but definitely not least, the book that I will be picking up on January 21st is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in the Empyrean Cycle series, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and now Onyx Storm. Loved, loved, loved Fourth Wing. Slightly less loved Iron Flame. So I'm really excited to see if this book can come out on top. This is a 5-book series, so I'm hoping that I don't have to slog my way through the last 3 books. Otherwise, I may DNF it. But I'm going to give Onyx Storm a fair chance. That's all the books I have on my radar for January 2025, the first month of the brand new year. If you have made it this far, please leave me a clock emoji in the comments to celebrate a new year. Also, if there's any books that are on your radar that I left off of this list, please let me know, because I'm sure that a lot of books just went over my head, slipped through the cracks, and I didn't even notice that they were coming out in January. Until next time, happy reading.